Hashtag LGFM is in full effect. The Mets are 12-7, 18 games into the season. So let's talk some Mets baseball with our favorite Mets content creator, Tyler Ward. Wardy, my guy, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Brandon, I'm feeling good. How are you doing today?
Great day. The Mets got another game tonight. Can't make that. Got dad duties. But let's talk about this season, man, because they're winning games. But like we say in pro sports, winning masks everything. Juan Soto hasn't had, I guess, the big money moments early this season that I'm sure both he and the fan base have wanted and expected. But again, we're only 18 games into the season. Where are you on the entire Soto panic meter? 0 to 10, 10 being I'm ready to Titanic. It's a sinking ship ready to jump off.
Well, I'm glad that you're asking me and not someone calling into the radio right now, because they would probably be a bit more drastic north of 10, where I'm going to be more around a 0 or a 1. Okay.
All right.
I think the only concerns that I would have with Juan Soto at this point is the fact that you could definitely make the argument that he hasn't looked as comfortable as maybe you'd hope to start the season when it comes to just his body language overall and his approach at the plate. And as we know, there's reasons behind that. As Mike Puma came out with that article a couple of days ago, highlighting how, knowing that he doesn't have the best turner in baseball behind him now, naturally pitchers are going to approach him a bit differently, getting less pitches ahead. And even when he is getting pitches ahead, we're kind of seeing him getting thrown off a little imbalanced here to begin the season. Nothing that I'm overly concerned with, because if there's anyone that has a good track record, it's Juan.
But don't you think with the money that he's getting paid, he doesn't need the best hitter in baseball, or he shouldn't need the best hitter in baseball behind him?
Oh, 100%. And that's where Soto needs to produce, right? Like, my patience is very good right now because we sit here talking on April 18th. But if we find ourselves a month and a half later, and Juan Soto is still kind of scuffling the way that he is right now, where he is topping over baseballs, he is having some games that is not Soto-esque. You've seen them very few and far in between, especially the over a couple days ago. But then you also see the games with the home runs that he had, and 2 home runs in his past 4 games. So it's not like the power isn't there. It just has been a little bit more flash in the pan versus what we'd hope. So yes, to your point, knowing that there's lofty expectations, that he's given the bag, for sure, if this continues, it'll only create a greater stir in the media, a greater stir with the fans, and leading to more questions as to, okay, did the Mets make the right or wrong decision here? Because naturally fans are going to have that.
Another guy that came into the season with lofty expectations, Mark Vientos. Remember, he said that the Mets had the best lineup in baseball. He finally homered for the first time this season. Francisco Lindor said he 100% needed that homer, but he thinks he can hit 30 to 40 homers on the season. Two-part question: is 30 to 40 kind of asking too much from Vientos? And are you surprised that the Mets are still 12-7 despite not getting any big-time production from Soto, Lindor, and Vientos?
That's a great question. I'm going to actually start with the latter by saying that, given the fact that the Mets are at 12-7, it's great, especially given how they got here, right? Because to your point, they're not firing on all full cylinders right now. Alonso's been leading the way. He's been carrying the team on their back the way that Lindor was doing that this past season when they started to get out of their rut throughout the first half of the year. So absolutely, it's been a little bit of a surprise given how they've been winning their games, but nothing that I'm overly complaining about right now. And then going back to Vientos, is it realistic to hit 30 to 40 home runs? I mean, Brandon, you tell me. If a player has 27 home runs in 111 games in his first full season, and definitely had luck on his side, but also clearly showed the power heading into postseason play the way that he did. And yes, is off to a slower start this season, but we're, right around 20 games in, 140 plus games ago. As long as Vientos stays healthy, I think the minimum we're looking at is a 30 home run season here for someone like him. It really just comes down to sample size and obviously his confidence there at the plate.
Yeah, I kind of liken or compare hitting the baseball to catching a football. And hitting a baseball, without a doubt, I got to put that out there, is a lot harder. But I think of it as a confidence thing. You're catching the football if you have confidence just in your ability and your overall swag. And I think Vientos, as he continues to go and continues to get that momentum and that juice, then yes, I think 30 to 40 is definitely within his wheelhouse. Wardy, pitching. was something that we were, I guess, worried about, or Mets fans were worried about heading into the regular season. Up to this point, or last night, no Mets pitcher had reached 100 pitches in an outing this year until Griffin Canning's 102 pitch masterclass Thursday. 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks. The rotation in the bullpen continues to hold the fort down while Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas heals up. So grade the pitching so far this season.
It's really hard not to give this pitching staff so far a solid 8, if not higher. I mean, the pitching has carried this Mets team. And Brandon, your point, this was not the expectation heading into the season. I should say it was to a degree with the bullpen because the Mets have a lot of pieces that they've added, a lot of depth there versus the start last season. But the rotation with Montas and Manaea down, as you just pointed out, it's been nothing short of a stellar start for this Mets team to get continued production from guys like Clay Holmes, Tyler McGill to a degree, Griffin Canning, who looked fantastic, David Pearson, and now Kodai Senga, who's looking healthy and back to the ace caliber starter that he once was for the Mets a couple years ago in his rookie season.
Before I let you go, really quick, Francisco Lindor, grade his start this season compared to seasons prior.
To give him a grade, and I'll get off the number scale, I'll do letters this time. I'm going to give Lindor here a solid B plus to begin the season, and here's why. He's usually a really slow starter and has been every year for the Mets. And Lindor this year, after coming off of an MVP-worthy type season with the Mets in 2024, hasn't skipped a beat too much. And just listen to the following numbers here. At Citi Field this season, Francisco Lindor is currently batting .440 with his average, 11 hits, 3 extra base hits, a home run, and over 1,100 OPS. In games that Lindor leads off with a hit for the Mets this season, they're 7-1. So that immediate production that the Mets have been getting from Lindor has been vital to their early success this season. Should he continue to do it, it appears the Mets are going to continue to have their winning way.
All right, the Mets, hopefully they keep on rolling. Wardy, can't wait to get you in studio, man. Can't wait to see you at Citi Field. Appreciate you hopping on with us, bro.
Likewise, brother. Always a pleasure.